Hi everyone. This seems very odd. It's been over a year since I made a floss tube, and I, I don't even know if I'm going to post this. That's the thing. I had kind of decided I wasn't going to come back, but a few things have happened over the last little while, and I kind of thought I might return. So I this is much more difficult than I remember it. I'm a little bit fumbly over my words. This is a bit strange. So I took a break last March. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. There was a lot going on in my personal life. Work life was busy, and I didn't feel as if I was stitching as much. So I didn't feel as if I could fully kind of commit to doing a floss tube. And if you look back, what happened was my frequency got less and less and less and less as I struggled to find time to do it. So ultimately, I then took a break. I didn't know how long that break was going to be for. Initially, I thought it would just be for literally just a couple of months, just to kind of get my head a bit clear, start feeling a bit better. Not that I was sick or anything, just for my own mental health. And then I got to the point where I thought, I don't think I want to go back and do floss tubes. And people were asking me, and I need to thank everyone who reached out. There was lots of people reached out on Instagram and on YouTube asking me where I was, if I was coming back. And I was always very vague because, to be honest, I was vague. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And even just maybe a month ago, I was saying, I don't think I'll do videos again. But as I say, there's been a few things that have happened, nothing that I really need to, I think, go into. And I thought, maybe I try again. Maybe I see how I go. You'll notice that I'm in a different place, and I'll give you a little bit of context about life. So I thought I would try again. It probably means that my videos will be shorter because I'm doing less stitching. It probably means there'll be less haul because although I am still buying haul, it's not at the same rate as I was doing before. And as I say, you'll see that I'm in a different place. I have now kind of moved in with John. I'm here the majority of my time. I still go home, obviously, to my parents. The situation with my parents is exactly the same. Nothing has changed. And I don't even think my dad has got drastically worse. So I suppose there is a little bit of a silver lining there. Things are not dramatically different. His mobility has got a little bit less. And I would say my mother's getting a little bit tired by it all. But there's been no massive changes there. The changes are all really with me. So I've still been stitching. I've still been stashing. I've still been going to the retreats. I did even take a step back from Flosstube. I didn't really watch Flosstube that much. But that's kind of come back now, I would say, in the last maybe 4 months, 5 months really. I've started watching more. And I don't know. I don't even know if anybody's going to watch this. So maybe I don't post it. Maybe nobody watches it. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I've got some finishes. I don't have everything I've stitched on in the last year, everything I've finished, everything I've bought. I've not done anything like that. You're going to get a little bit of a snapshot of what I'm working on just now. And I have got a couple of finishes that I want to share. One because it's framed, one because I've really enjoyed stitching this little series. I've got a little selection of things that I've been stitching, and I've obviously got some haul because I've always got haul of some sort. Most of it's, I think, market haul. But yeah, so I don't know how this is going to go. I'm feeling a little bit out of sorts, maybe. And maybe that's because I'm on a kind of totally different environment. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this light's the most flattering, so, so I don't know. What will we start with? Oh, actually, something that else that happened last year was John and I went on a cruise last summer, which was lovely, and we got engaged. John asked me at my birthday, which is also in the summer. So we've not set a date for the wedding, but we got engaged. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have known this. But I know there's some people who are not on other forms of social media. So that ties in quite nicely to the finish I'm going to show you. And this is something that I stitched for John for his Christmas. So that you'll recognise this. This is Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods. And this is the bear. And what I did was I removed the little house that's the kind of consistent in the series, and I just changed it to a little heart. I think that's Turkish red I used, and this is my finish. I got it professionally framed if you're in Scotland, then they've got 3 different branches. There's one in Glasgow city centre, there's one in Dumbarton where my parents live, and there's one in, I think, Mulgai, out that way. So there you go. I want to say I love stitching it, but I can tell you, see at the end, I'd kind of had enough of the brown. I don't think I can get rid of the reflection. It's just ordinary glass. But they made a really good job of framing it. I like the, I don't know what you call that actually, the mount. And yep, so that's my finish. And it hangs actually just up here in John's house. So yeah, framing workshop it is, and they did a really good job, I would say. I've only ever used them. There is another place locally to my folks, but I've never tried them. I went there, I've had maybe five or six pieces framed there. I've loved them all. I've always thought they were really good. They were very quick and reasonably priced, and I've shared that with anybody else that I've spoken to about framing. So that was a finish that I wanted to share. The next ones I want to share is a set, and these are from Robin Pickens cross stitch design it is. And initially I only wanted to do the first 2, which was the Cardinal and the Blackbird. So here we are. This is the Blackbird. I'll bring it a little closer. Maybe I need to get clips for the board. So this is the Blackbird. And this is stitched using the DMC. And I changed the fabric choice. So that's all they called for DMC. And I changed the fabric choice. I can't remember what was called for, but that's Murky. It's 32 count even weave Murky. And it was the batch I got. Do you remember when Murky kind of went out? We couldn't get it. I don't know, we waited so long, and I had a piece on back order from 123 Stitch, and then it came in, and it wasn't quite really the Murky that we all kind of know. This one's very light, it's almost camouflage. I did think to over dye it, but in reality I've just kept it and I've used it. So this is the Blackbird one, which is the autumn. The whole set I think is called Seasonal Couriers by Robin Pickens Designs. So that was the first one that I wanted to do. And then I kind of got drawn into the winter one, which is this one here. And this is the winter one, which is the Cardinal. Again, all the called for DMC, but I switched out the fabric for Zweigart Smoky Grey, I think it is, or is it Grey Marl? Something like that anyway. You can kind of see it. It's like the vintage country mocha, except the grey version. And I actually loved that. A couple of people I heard were like, oh, the pine cone was too big, but I loved stitching on it. These were really enjoyable for me, and I think you can tell I enjoyed them because I just continued and I did all 4. So those 2 were like the first ones I really wanted to do, but after doing those ones I was like, oh, I need to keep going. So then I did spring, and here is the spring, and again this is all the called for DMC, And the fabric is the vintage, the pink marl this time from Zweigart. And again, I love that. So, and I carried on and I finished off and I did summer. And the summer is the Blue Jay. And here is the summer one. And that's on Vintage Country Mocha. All 32 count, all, they're either linens or even weaves. Even weaves, I think they're all even weaves. And that was the summer option. And I absolutely loved these. And to be fair, I want to try and maybe get them framed. I'll not be able to do it because my board's not big enough. But I would like to get them framed all 4 together. And I don't know what I'm going to show you now, but it'll be funny. No matter what, you're going to get a laugh here any second now. So I want to kind of frame them, I think, all 4 together. That was a disaster. But these kind of really reignited stitching for me. And it's not that I stopped stitching, but I kind of needed a bit of colour. I think that's what it was. And those 4 in themselves, the charts are really clear. So that was it. I had to do those 4. And then I went on the lookout for other charts by this designer. And in one of my whip piles, you'll see that I'm actually stitching another one from Market from her. So let me get that for you now. Since we're talking about Robin Pickens, she was a new designer to me. And I see she's done another series, These Birds, where there's 2 birds, but that didn't really appeal to me. So then I picked up this one here, which was, it's called Peekaboo Birds. It's not too big, 66 by 94. It was a market release this year. And again, Sol DMC, these are really good quality charts. I'm not going to show you the chart, but really good quality. Yeah, so let me show you where I'm at with this. So, I don't know when I started this, but it's kind of what I'm working on and I'm kind of getting there. I'm almost finished. Again, I switched out the fabric. The fabric is, let me see, what does it say here? It's petrol blue cashel linen. Well, I got petrol green even weave from Zweigart. And so far, all the colours look fine. There's one colour I'm not sure will show up, but if it's an issue, then what I'll probably do is switch it out. So that's the chart, and that's the one that I'm doing. So I'm almost finished. I expect to finish it this week or so. So yeah, Robin Pickens Designs. I've actually bought another one of her charts in Market, from Market this year. In fact, I might have bought 2, which I really like. And actually, I've got these on some bobbins. I don't know. These are Kate Blanford, I think it is. I bought them from the secondary market. Let me see if I can show you this. So, I'm kind of into bobbins. I've tried floss drops. They suit me for some projects, but not for others. So, Kate Blanford was selling these bobbins. And what you can see, if I can just show you, is that they're a bit thick. They're like acrylic. I think she's probably done them on a 3D printer. And they're really quite sturdy. So somebody was selling them, stash unloads. So I got them and I've been using them for this project. My only concern is that they are really too thick to go in a ring. So I've just been sticking them in the bag with the charts. And I'm not even sure how I'm going to store them. But that's a problem for another day, because at the moment I'm just enjoying stitching on that project. So if you've not come across Robin Pickens Designs before, see, this is awkward because I don't know where I'm going with this, but I would suggest that if you like birds or you like colours, she's a good designer for that. Okay, let me see what else I've got to share. This project I picked up at the start of the year again, maybe. And this is Rosewood Manor Quaker Diamonds. And this was something I had started, it would be at least maybe 2 years ago, because obviously I've not been stitching as much this last year and not doing any videos. So here is my progress. Okay, let me see how this is going to work. So that, let me see, make sure I don't cut anything off. That's the width of it. I'm not quite at the bottom yet, but let me come in a bit closer to show you with this bag. So here you are. I can't see anything, so I'm hoping this is in the viewfinder and you can see it. So this is stitched on, it's a 28 count, it's some sort of mystery linen I had in my stash. I hope this is okay and I hope you can see something. Yeah, so it was a mystery linen that was in my stash, and I've stitched using the called for Valdani threads. And this is my first time using Valdani threads and I have absolutely loved it. And I've said it many, many times. Every time somebody talks about the project or I share the project, I love these threads. And I love these threads. They are 3-stranded. You do not separate them unless you're doing 1/1. Let me just take the little ball out to show you. So you get them in these little balls. Okay, so these are the little balls, and you will see if I get the end somewhere. Yeah. So these are 3 strands, but obviously they're all nice and kind of closed. And it's only if you want to do the 1/1, which, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to do the 1/1 on this. So you can see all the large letters. Beside all the large letters, there are smaller letters. And I just don't know. Somebody in Flosstube land had done the winter Quakers using the Valdanis, and they just really struggled with the 1/1 because you had to separate it, and she felt that it was all kind of fraying and just breaking up, and that'll just put me right off and this will never get finished. I would like to finish this, but what I like about these threads, and it's not that I don't like other threads, I do, but I'm loving the variegation. So if I show you this motif here, this is all one thread. See the orange into the kind of darker rust? That's all one thread. So for some of them, the variegation is very noticeable, and for other ones, less so. So even if you look at this blue one here, still noticeable variegation, but much more subtle than the other one. And then you've got obviously the greens there, and then the centre one here, which I think was that thread that I just showed you, there's very little variegation. So for me, I love these threads because my biggest gripe recently when I've been stitching is that I buy variegated threads and they're almost solid. So I question myself why I'm paying for the variegation of, say, the Weeks or the Classic Colourworks. It doesn't matter which brand, when I should be, or it would be better if I just bought DMC. So that's my progress on Quaker Diamonds. I have another, I think, page, and then that should be it. So probably down to there, and then obviously I've got the middle bit. But I am enjoying it, but I have to force myself to put it down. But maybe I'll just stick with it and see if I can try and get another big chunk finished. So that's Quaker Diamonds with the Valdani threads. What else have I been working on the last little while? What's in this one? Okay, I ventured somewhere new. As if I've not got enough things going on. I ventured somewhere new and I started a full coverage. Now, this is not one of these great big massive heads or anything like that. This was very much a kit that I bought because I really loved the colours and the design. So this is, I think it's just called Art Nouveau Ocean by a company called Jobby. On the threads, it's Luca S on the threads. So I don't know if it's them that have been manufacturing the kit, but here it is here. Not really sure what I was doing, and I spoke to, I can't remember if it was Stuart or someone else, but I didn't know quite what I was going to do. So I decided just to start. That's the only way to learn, I suppose, is just start. So here is what I've done so far. Oh, it's fallen off my... See? So that's what I've done so far. And that's like the quarter in the top. If you're looking at it, the top left-hand kind of quarter. So yeah, liking that. It's very different. It's not the usual kind of do a motif and move on. I've been kind of colour completing, sort of, but it's all new for me and I'm not quite sure. I like it, but you seem to stitch for a long time and you don't get the completion that you would get with if you're doing a sampler, then you get a little motif, or you do a bit of the border, you get a little flower done or whatever and you move on. There's none of that here. You just keep going until eventually you sit back and you say, oh yes, I can see that that's part of the wave, or I can see whatever it is. So it's on the kit fabric, which is 16 count Ada. It's fine. It's a bit firm, but it's fine. I don't stitch in hand. I might be tempted to try and stitch in hand on this, but I'm a little bit of I'm not a perfectionist, but I will unpick if something doesn't look right. I'll just unpick it. And my fear would be if I was stitching in hand and I was just, maybe I got into a bit of a rhythm, but I couldn't get my tension right, I'd end up ripping it all out. And I know practice makes perfect, but I think at the moment I'll just stick with the nudge hoop and we'll see how things go. But yeah, so ventured into something new. Not sure how I feel about going any bigger than this, and this one's not big, it's 150 I think by 150 and it's a circular, but yeah, it's okay. Take a drink. Yeah, I've been at work all day, but I've not really had a lot of meetings, so there's not been a lot of yippee yap. So what else have I been working on? Okay, so at the end of last year, I decided that I wanted to do some of the Summer House Stitch Works Fragments in Time. So I've got a few of them, either partially kitted up or fully kitted up. But I did start this one, so let me just check which year this is. 2022. So this is my progress so far. I've done 2. It was really the first one that caught my eye, that kind of berry bowl. I kind of love that. I love that design. I love stitching that. And then there's the second one, which was the heart with the 2 birds. And this is stitched on a 32 count Zweigart even weave, and I think it's called Nugget or Nougat maybe. I think that's what the colour is. But I've really enjoyed stitching it, but I'll tell you, I do struggle a little bit. You get a free border with these charts, so you just go onto the website, you download, you get the border, and then obviously you place the small cards or the small designs in each section. My goodness, words are difficult. And I was fine with this one, and I was fine with this one, but when I went to go to the third one, I've really struggled just to get the placement right. So that's why I've not done any more on this one. I was just really, I just really struggled. That's as simple as that. I've got a few of the other ones. So they come in sets of 8. You get 8 kind of little cards. So let me show you. So there's the first 2 that I've obviously done. Oops. And then we have, here was me thinking I was all organised and I wasn't going to, well, that's 7 and 8. Don't want to show you 7 and 8. Let me see. 3 and 4. Okay, and then we've got 3 and 4. And this is the one that I'm kind of struggling at the moment to place it. And then 5 and 6. and then finally 7 and 8. So I will go back to it. I just need to make sure that I'm placing it correctly, because for me that's really what I've struggled in, and I'm doing it in the DMC, so it's all the DMC. I didn't do the over-dyed conversion for the reasons I've already explained. But when you first see the colours, you're not sure, but I love it. It's a nice balance for me between colour, design, and still a little bit samplerish. There is a kind of sampler-esque nature to it, which I like. So yeah. So I've been working on that. Although I don't think I've picked it up in a good, I don't know, month or so. Or I think I picked it up and I struggled to place the design. So I just thought, right, don't want to be unpicking, don't want to be frogging. And I moved on to something else. Okay. And also, I started this design here by Marjorie Massey. And this is Nature Quaker. And you would think, after doing all those monthly Quakers, after doing the Quaker Diamonds, that I would be Quakered out, but I'm not. I've kind of regained my love for Quakers. So, here we are. Let me make sure I've got this correct. And I'll show you. This is this way. Okay. So this is a 32 count antique white even weave, and here is my progress. So this is Nature Quaker by Marjorie Massey. The threads selection they're actually not my choice, they're not the called for, but they are just, I seen it somewhere else on a different project. And I thought, I like that colour combo. So it is Classic Colourworks English Ivy, Weeks Terracotta, Weeks Glacial Melt, let me see what else, Weeks Michael's Navy. Is that the 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Oh, sugar. Sorry about that. So, that's my progress. Now, I'm going to complain a little bit, if I can. I've not been making working copies. I've just been stitching. And what I've noticed on this one, which is actually very important, I don't want to show you the chart, but here is the paper. So this is the paper. And I've noticed on the chart that in the fold, and it was folded when I got it, it's all starting to wear away. And it's really quite annoying. And instead of just carrying on stitching, it put me off it, so I stopped. And that's not good, because I would say now the middle section where it was originally folded is now, you can't read anything from that. So it will need to be a little bit of trial and error through that middle section, which I'm just about approaching to get it finished. So yeah, Marjorie Massey, Nature Quaker. Yeah, that's a good start. It's not too bad. Not too shabby, I don't think. And I definitely like the colour combination on this one. So, yeah. The problem is just time. Time to stitch all this lovely stuff. Okay. Let me think. What else? I've got another bag here. I don't know what's in it, really. Oh yeah, I've got another finish I can share. So this was a Barbara Anna finish, and this is called Dear Joy. And I stitched this on a piece of 32 count vintage country mocha linen, and that's with all the called for DMC. And I really like doing it. It didn't take too long. I do like a Barbara Anna. So I finished that quite recently. I don't know why it's hiding in this bag. To let you understand, I have stuff here in John's house, I have stuff in my parents' house, I have stuff in the boot of my car, all stitchy things. So sometimes it can be a bit hectic. And the other things I've got, I've hardly started. I don't know if it's worth sharing, to be honest. Hardly started them, but I did do a little bit of a start on this Scarlett House Centre Point sampler. So I'm showing you nothing here, but yeah, I've got it out now, so I might as well show it. So there you go. A very small start, which I did at the Scottish Stitching Retreat last month. I just got a little bit of a start on it. I'm actually more likely to return to things if I've got them started. That's a better position for me to be in, that I start something and I stitch a little, and even if I don't finish it, I'm more likely to go back to it. I've also got a start on Cactus Cat, and that's by Satsuma Street. Again, I think I picked that up off a stash unload. Not got a lot done. This is Summer Khaki. That's what it is, Summer Khaki, and here we go. That's my little start on that one. A lot of colour. That seems to be what's keeping me going at the moment, is colour. Alba, you may ask about Alba. Alba is fine. She has settled in nicely with my folks. I don't think we'll ever have her here. Maybe when we move to my house we will, but at the moment she is settled with my parents. It's all going really well. She was a little bit ill. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that. She had a cyst on her kind of side, and quite large, quite worrying, because Alba's quite she's a mature lady. She's like the best of us, a mature lady, and I was a bit worried for a while. But we took her to the vet, a couple of visits, a little bit of not a snip, but a little bit of a cut and a removal and a couple of stitches, and she was fine. She healed really quickly. The vet was quite surprised that I think Alba will be 13, 14-ish. Remember, I got her from a shelter when I lived in the Netherlands. So our exact date's not, or how old she is not really exact, but she's probably about that age. So we're all really a bit worried about her. But yeah, it was a whole family outing to go to the vet. There was my mum and dad, because obviously they're their surrogate parents, and John and I, all for this little cat. But she's fine. But you'll not see her. You'll not see her unless, one, I've filmed from my parents, which I don't think I will, or two, she's here for any reason, which again, I don't think she will. She seems to be quite settled with my folks, and that's what counts. What else? I've got some haul. This has been longer than I thought. I thought I would talk for 10 minutes, and then I would run out of things to talk about, and I'd get all really nervous, and I would just stop. So it's a little bit longer than I thought, but let's talk about haul. I have haul. I always have haul because I love stitching things. I like collecting things. So I have some haul. This is not all my haul for the last year. This is bits and pieces from most recent months. I'll probably show you other things as time goes on. Other finishes that I had as well, because I did stitch other things, but this is the kind of little group of things that I have here that I'm kind of working on. I do have another new start that I'm planning once I finish the Robin Pickens Peekaboo Birds. I want to start this Teresa Kogut. I think Market this year was fabulous. I really, really enjoyed Market. I could have spent my whole salary, I think, on what I saw. So this is one of my Market pieces from this year, and I've also kitted it up as well. So I have the DMC threads, and actually I didn't take the black Ada or even weave or linen. I took a grey, so I'm going to try it on the grey. I think it'll be fine. I don't have great eyesight at the best of times, Obviously I got a new pair of headlights, so that has helped me. But getting old on its own is not enough, so I need to try and be as thoughtful or mindful as I can be, so I'm not stitching on black, basically. So here you go. And I think the colours will be fine on this. It won't have the dramatic effect that the original has, but I think my version will be fine. So that will be a start, I would say, fairly quickly once I finish the peekaboo birds. I have another, I'll not take these out the plastic. I apologise if that bothers you, the light, but I'm not going to take them out of plastic. I bought another Robin Pickens one, which is Gathering Bright Blooms. I really liked it. Again, I got a thing about colour with this designer. I also picked up a couple of Plum Streets. This one is called Gathered Hearts. And I've got this as a kind of companion piece, I think. I'm going to do them on similar linens. And this is called Friendship Garden. So yeah, I thought these two went quite well together. I picked up a Jeanette Douglas one. Summer Alphabet Garden. And I don't think these other ones are actually market. I think these are just ones that have been out and about. I don't think, oh no, Brenda Jobby. We were quite fortunate this time here in the UK. Normally we struggle with Brenda Jobby to access the charts, but this year we've been quite fortunate because I think both Peakside and Jeff P. Smith on eBay had them, so I picked up that one. And I see it's a stitch along already for this one. And then I've picked up a couple of Artsy Housewives ones. That was Summer Solstice. And Glenda's Garden, which will also be a start fairly soon. I really like it. I'm just debating about the fabric. I've seen a green fabric I really liked. But then I'm not sure. Maybe I do want to go for the orange. So I'm not sure yet. The called for, I think, is something I can't get. Yeah, the called for is Pumpkin King by Atomic Ranch. I've never even heard of Atomic Ranch, so I don't know. Certainly not over here in the UK. But yeah, that one. And then one other one that I picked up, I have no idea if this is a market release or not, but it's by Stacy Nash, and it's Rose Hill Farm Sampler. How lovely is that? A big red house. I just really liked it. So yeah, that's been my kind of semi-recent haul maybe. I don't know. I have haul every week, so who knows. But yeah, semi-recent haul. Let me think. Have I got anything else to share? Okay, so moving forward, I have actually no idea how this is going to go. I am thinking my videos will be much shorter. I'm thinking there'll be less stitching and haul, but hopefully you'll stick by me, even if it is just a little short 20-minute video every so often. I hope you come back. If you don't, it's fine. I understand. There's plenty of Flosstubes out there, and it was quite... I've been away a long time, so I don't know what this means, but I'll continue to post for a little while and we'll see. But I'm happy to have done it. It was a bit overwhelming when I thought, will I go back to filming? But I kind of missed it a little bit. I wanted to kind of back to re-engage with the community because I felt as if I had to kind of, just take a step back, which is what I needed at the time. So if you want to ask me any questions, you can email, you can comment, as you wish. You know where I am. I'm always around on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook so much, so if you want to get in contact with me, you can leave a comment here or get in touch on Instagram. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you maybe in a few weeks' time. Thanks again. Bye.